You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
You are listening to episode 226 of the Soulforge podcast.
Welcome to the Soulforge, a place of silent mystery, quiet contemplation, and outright mayhem. Join your host, Sean Vanderloo, as he guides you through the adventures of living. Together, we'll talk about life and love, sex and dating, joy and heartache, memories and loss, and so much more. Don't worry, it's not nearly as pretentious as it sounds. Get ready for life, the universe, and everything on the Soulforge.
Hey gang, welcome back to the show. It's Sean again, and I have got part 2, round 2, a second dose of quick shots, or as I was going to originally call them, tactical minis. Do you remember this experiment from just over 2 years ago? Well, if not, I'm going to remind you, because that's what I do here on the show. Hope everybody's doing well in podcast land. It's now November 2021. We just had Halloween, and we're at the home stretch of the year. And of course, as I'm now recording, the dogs are barking because, you know, I can't have a nice quiet recording session ever because that's how life works. Okay, so anyway, Tactical Minis Round 2. Quick Shots Part 2. The first one came out August 8th, 2019, but don't you worry. You don't have to have listened to the first one in order to get value from the second one. Because basically what it is just little mini episodes all on their own but strung together. I figured the first one was episode 113. It's been 113 episodes later, so now we're at 226, so I better get this episode out, and maybe the next one will come out at episode 339 if I'm still soul forging, or if society hasn't collapsed, or what have you in just over 2 years from now. So what is a quick shot? Well, I'm just going to read the show notes from episode 113 because that seemed to be pretty succinct. So here it goes. With this experiment of an episode, the Soulforge podcast presents something wholly new. Whether we call them tactical minis or quick shots, each segment brings you on a journey. While most podcasts invite you to experience a single topic, this episode presents several different ideas. A tactical mini is an idea. It's an idea with such focus that it cannot be expanded upon. Each mini will touch upon a feeling that is unable to be contained. Single ideas, single topics, focus, depth. Call them quick shots or tactical minis. The name has not been locked down as of yet. The basic idea is that something has come to my attention and is intruding upon my mind. I need to get it out of my system. Therefore, I drill down into the heart of an issue and get it off my mind, and I free my soul. These tactical minis, or quick shots, are only 3 to 5 minutes in length. The concept is such that the topic of the mini is too small to become an entire full-length episode. Therefore, I have recorded 4 minis and put them into this one episode. It is the first of its kind, experiment of sorts to see if this whole idea is workable. Your feedback is encouraged and appreciated. What do you think of this idea? You are more than welcome to record a tactical mini of your own to be played on a future episode of the Soulforge podcast. Send your emails to soulforgepodcast@gmail.com or tweet your feelings on the show to @soulforgepod. So that's what I wrote. I only actually have 3 tactical minis this week. The first one was recorded way back in January of this year, and the last 2 were recorded pretty recently, actually. I never really did this too much, actually, or whatever, but it's an idea that I enjoy, and I really need to do more of these. It's just sometimes I get lazy. So I never got any feedback from you guys out there in podcast land. Nobody ever sent me a tactical mini of their own, but now it's another chance to do so because I'm revisiting this idea. So what I'm going to do, as I did the last time, is I play a tactical mini or a quick shot, I play a promo for another podcast here on the ESO network. That's followed by another tactical mini, followed by another promo, followed by a tactical mini, followed by the end. So that's what I'm going to do. One of the tactical minis, or quick shots, or whatever the hell they are, was about Star Trek Prodigy. It premiered last week, and I just gave my thoughts on it real quick. The one thing I forgot to say is that I do have a prediction for the character of Murph. That's the blue blobby gelatinous guy, and they have not said what his species is, and apparently it's supposed to be an obscure reference. So my prediction is that Murph is a sentient, evolved bioneural gel pack system from the starship Voyager. For the deep lore of that show, the ship had bioneural gel packs as part of the system. It helped the information run through the conduits very fast or something. I don't know. I can't remember. But that's what I'm thinking Murph is. The Voyager was filled with them. Perhaps one of them evolved into this creature. Maybe that's not the case, but that's my prediction, and I'm just leaving it here. So, without further ado, here's a promo and then your quick shots.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Tony.
Do you like ads about podcasts?
You know it.
How about ads about Doctor Who podcasts?
Even better.
Well, you're in luck, because this is an ad about a Doctor Who podcast.
Wow, I love it.
And you'll love us, the Watchathon of Rassilon, a podcast about Doctor Who.
I'll buy 12.
Actually, it's free.
I'll buy 13 then.
Oh, what's this? Another tactical mini? I haven't done one of these in ages. Well, as I'm recording this, it is January 24th, 2021. And guess what's happening? I should be on vacation right now. Well, technically I am. I'm on a week of holidays from work. But approximately 10 months ago, when I was picking my holidays for the upcoming year, back at the beginning of 2020, you see, our holidays at work run from the 1st of April till the end of March the following year. So I picked a bunch of holidays, and I'd only been with Julie for maybe a month and a half or so. But we decided that one of these days we should go on a nice fancy vacation, a nice trip overseas somewhere to celebrate her weight loss that she'd recently undertaken with her gastric bypass surgery. And because I had never been anywhere fancy, nowhere international other than road trips to the US and whatever, we decided that we would take the week of January 25th off, and we would go to the Caribbean, maybe Jamaica, maybe Cuba. We didn't know. We hadn't decided. But we were going to take that week. We were going to invite a bunch of other couples, such as some of her friends, and because my brother Curtis had turned 40 in December, we decided we would bring him and his wife along with us, and we'd have like a nice, I'm going to say fancy, multiple couples vacation somewhere overseas. Who knows? So we had, I think, 4 or 5 different couples. We were all going to get together. We were all going to go the week of January 24th, 25th, and wouldn't you know it, COVID hit, and it's not safe to travel, so we can't travel. So once again, a nice vacation that I was going to go on was ruined because, as you know, back in December 2018, I was supposed to go to Cuba. I got on the plane and the door wouldn't close, so they canceled the flight, and then we rebooked for Cozumel that night, and they didn't issue the tickets. So 2 trips were canceled or postponed or whatever within one single day. So I never got to go anywhere, and that was very sad. And now I can't go anywhere because COVID, and it's not safe to travel. So isn't that a nice how do you do? So instead, once we realized that we couldn't go on vacation, couldn't get in a nice airplane and go somewhere warm for the Christmas or go somewhere warm for the winter holidays, I figured, well, since I'm off that week anyway, and I'm due to have another tattoo because I haven't had one in a few years, I figured I would continue on with my memorial arm, and on my right arm I have some tribute tattoos to people who have passed, and I was going to get my grandfather's airplane tattooed on my arm. It's the plane that he flew in for many years. He named it the Betty Lou after his wife, my grandmother. So I thought, okay, so I can't get in a plane and go on a trip. I'll get a plane and put it on me. Well, wouldn't you know it, we're in lockdown, and the tattoo session was canceled. So I think there's a conspiracy. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but not only can I not go on an airplane, I can't have an airplane go on me. So I don't know what this means. Is the universe out to get me? Is it just a funny, amusing coincidence that I can put in a little mini episode? I don't know. But there we have it. And that is a tactical mini or a quick shot episode that I will release later on down the line. Goodbye.
Hi everyone, it's Nathan, host of the 42 Cast. Our second season is just underway, and it's never been a better time to check in on what we're doing. Whether it's talking about the latest movies from the MCU, watching the Arrowverse shows, talking about classics such as Star Trek and Doctor Who, playing 8-bit video games, or sharing celebrity interviews, the 42 Cast has something for everyone. So give it a listen, and discover why it's the ultimate answer to fandom, geekiness, and everything. The 42 Cast is a proud member of the ESO Network.
What's this? Another tactical mini. Who knew? Who would have thought that was coming? So what's this one about? Puppies. We're making puppies. What? What's that mean? Well, guess what? Julie has decided that before we get Daisy fixed, Daisy is a golden doodle who is about just over 2.5 years old. We've decided that we're going to have some puppies, and they're going to be ready for Valentine's Day. I have never had puppies before. I've had kittens. Well, not personally. I've never had them because, I'm not a cat or a dog. But she wanted Daisy to experience the joys of motherhood, so that's what's going on here. It was, let me think here. It was, well, we missed a few opportunities actually when she was in heat, because I guess dogs are only in heat twice a year. Daisy was in heat in March and in end of September, early October. So we missed the March opportunity, and so she arranged some things over the summer. She contacted various people who had potential breeding partners for little old Daisy, and we have found someone with a phantom doodle. Now, what a phantom doodle is, which I had never heard of, is just basically a two-toned golden doodle, which are apparently quite rare. So Julie contacted the lady and arranged some goings-on, I guess you would call it, and got Daisy down to the person's house on a Saturday. Daisy and this phantom doodle went to town and did the business, and then went back on the Tuesday, just a few days later, just to make sure it caught. They did their business again. So that was the first week in October 2021. Dogs are pregnant for approximately 60 days or so. So we had Daisy tested at the vet last week, and it was a little bit too early, but apparently the doctor saw some sacs, because I guess that's what the puppies are in. They're in their own individual sacs or something. So Daisy has to go back later on for some more testing, ultrasounds or whatever it is they do. And then we're going to find out how many puppies there are. So the puppies should be born sometime around the first week of December, which is also the same time as my son's 16th birthday. So this is going to be quite the busy household. But then we have to have them for about 8 weeks or so. That means these puppies, these little baby dogs, golden doodles, phantom doodles, whatever they turn out to be, will be ready in time for Valentine's Day. So, if you'd like to get your sweetheart a golden doodle from Timmins, Ontario, Canada, now is your chance. All you have to do is contact me at soulforgepodcast@gmail.com. I'm sure I'll be telling you about him a little bit about more of this stuff a little bit later on. Once the puppies are born, I'll let you know how many there are, what kind they are, boys, girls, whatever, how many phantoms there are, and all that kind of fun stuff. I've never been there for the birth of a puppy. I'm kind of a little bit scared. I don't know what to expect. Apparently it can be quite involved. we'll see. Maybe it'll go smoothly. I'm hoping it'll go smoothly, but I'm sure I will be letting all of you folks there in podcast land know. There you go. We'll talk soon. Take care and good night.
How did watchdog groups with no experience in television take a controlling interest on Saturday morning television?
When did Wonder Woman make her animated debut?
Want to know why there were 2 competing Ghostbuster shows?
How Atari changed the Saturday morning landscape?
How did networks compete over similar genres at the same time?
Find out all of this and more on the Best Saturdays of Our Lives podcast.
A proud member of the ESO Network.
Okay, so here's another quick tactical shot, whatever I'm calling it, I don't know. But just watched the first episode. Well, it was a 2-parter. They combined them both together. Star Trek Prodigy, the new cartoon series kid show from Star Trek. It's the first Star Trek show specifically designed for 7 and 8-year-olds. And I did something sneaky, you guys and girls out there in podcast land. I wanted to watch it. I've been looking forward to it for a year because when it comes to Star Trek, I'm completely biased. If they make something Star Trek, I'm going to watch it, even if it's not intended for me specifically as an audience. But what I wanted to do was get Julie's daughter to watch it, but I didn't tell her it was Star Trek. I just told her that we were going to watch a new cartoon that was coming out, and it was supposed to be really exciting. So I said, okay, now let's get ready, let's get comfortable, let's get our snacks, and we're going to watch this new show. So she said, okay. She likes cartoons, mostly horses, but whatever. So I said, okay, we're going to watch the show. And so we started watching it, and she was quiet for the first 10 or 15 minutes, and she seemed to be enjoying it. She can't read yet, so she didn't know it was Star Trek, and I didn't want to tell her it was Star Trek, because she's always like, ugh, why are you always watching Star Trek? Of course, that's not how she talks. She doesn't talk like a weird old man, but she just says that in her little girl's voice. But anyway, finally, about 15 minutes after it had started, a commercial came on, and it said, "You're watching Star Trek Prodigy." And she's like, oh, Star Trek? But she was enjoying it up until then. And I'm like, yep, I said it's a Star Trek show, but it's designed specifically for people your age. So I want to get your impression of it and see if you like it, and whatever. So we watched the whole thing. She actually sat still for the entire hour-long episode, and she seemed to enjoy it. So when it was all over, I said, so that was a Star Trek show just for you. Did you like it? And she's like, well, I half liked it, and I half didn't like it. And I tried to get more elaboration from her, but of course, she couldn't give me that because she's 8. But she seemed to enjoy it. It was a 2-parter called Lost and Found, and the visuals were fantastic. The music was delicious. The story was actually good. It kept me entertained for the whole thing. It's out every Thursday at 6 p.m. here in Canada. Apparently it's not out in the UK until next year sometime, and in the US, I'm not sure exactly. I guess it's on Paramount Plus, and then it's going to go on to Nickelodeon. But it's got positive reviews from everything that I've seen, read, and heard about. So if you're trying to get your kids into Star Trek, or if you want an entry point to get into it yourself, then Star Trek Prodigy is the way to go, because it's not an actual Starfleet crew. It's a bunch of random aliens on a prison planet who find a ship, and they make their great escape on the ship. And there's bad guys trying to get them because they want this experimental ship. So lots of fun. They don't know anything about Starfleet or the Federation or any of the rules, and so we're going to learn as we go. And there's all kinds of Easter eggs for longtime fans, so if you're a longtime fan, you'll love it too. If you are, you've probably already seen it, but if you haven't, or you haven't been able to yet, it's something to look forward to. No real spoilers, it's just a heck of a lot of fun, and you're going to love it. And that's what I've got to say about Star Trek Prodigy. Go check it out.
So, Brittany, Martha, tell me about your podcast.
Oh, no. It's like we're in sync, but also kind of a disaster.
We are always a disaster.
So our podcast is fun if you want to hear 2 people talk about and complain about stuff that they love and also hate.
And drink.
And drink.
And the show is called...
Oh.
But first, let's talk nerdy.
You can find us on the ESO Network.
See you next Tuesday.
Okay, what did you guys and girls think of those? Was that a good few rounds of quick shots? Bang, bang, bang. That's why I put a gunslinger on the cover art, because, you know, a quick shot. Quick draw, gunslinger kind of guy. I don't know. It was a thing that I was going for. When it was a tactical mini, I had like the image of a nuclear strike kind of thing. But anyway, if you stick with me for another 113 episodes, who knows what I'll put on the front cover for episode 339, or if I do any more of these before then. Anyway, hope you can send one in your own self about any topic that you choose. I'll include it in an episode. If I get enough, I'll just make an audience listener quick shot kind of show. Thanks for coming by the Forge, and we'll talk to you again next week. But until then, remember, enough is a decision, not an amount. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Soul Forge podcast. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we hope you'll tune in again next time. Remember that you can visit soulforgepodcast.com for all of our social media links, and don't forget to share the show with everyone you know. The Soul Forge podcast is your best source for living your best life.
Think about it.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.